What's up, guys? Give me 1 second. All right. All right. Just getting set up, guys. I had a lot of other stuff going on. It's hindering me a little bit. Let's see. Hey, out from under the table. These kids, man. 1 second. Let me get all this stuff set up to where I can watch the live stream on my computer and interact with you guys at the same time. Let's see. All right. What's up, guys?
Is that hammer?
You love the fit.
Is that
Yeah.
hammer?
That's a watermelon, yeah. Look, I need y'all to go over there somewhere. Or go play in the yard or either go inside, okay? Yeah, it does. It takes a second to get through and process. But yeah, the shirt, man, is definitely it's definitely fitting. It's race cars are like strippers. I just keep throwing money at them, hoping for the ride of my life. True story. Top hat lift kit on first gen CRV. Those work good. Those lift kits, they also retain the original spring rates and stuff, to where like if you put like a old man EMU lift kit on it, it's a little stiffer. I had that. I had the first gen CRV with the old man EMU lift kit, and it's pretty stiff. Also, if I was to do it again, if it was mine personally, I'd probably do like the QA1 springs. Hey, can y'all please go over there somewhere? These kids, man. But yeah, those first gen spacers should work fine. Like I said, they should retain the original spring rates and all that stuff. Hey. Goodness. Stop. Y'all are getting in the way now. You can't be messing with my camera. Jeez. Back up. See this? Don't touch it. Sorry, guys. These are kids. Yeah, man. Honestly, I didn't really anticipate on the CRV videos being like my bread and butter, but man, they've really done good. I've kind of started gearing my channel more towards those first gen CRV videos because that's just what works. It's kind of surprising. I have people all the time tell me, "Oh, well, you should do more all-wheel drive stuff, like for your Civic and stuff." But honestly, that stuff doesn't really get the views that the CRV stuff gets. So I mean, that's kind of like what re-geared my thinking as far as the content to put out, because that's what works. So every time I post a first gen CRV video, they just take off. Second gen ones, they don't really get a lot of views. I mean, they get views, but not like the first gen stuff. So the mosquitoes have been pretty bad out here. So you can see I got my little tiki torch set up. As long as the kids will leave it alone. Let's see. We'll start out of nowhere. It cranks, tries to run, and stops. I don't know. As long as if you're able to test the fuel, make sure it's getting fuel. I mean, that would be a good start, and then check to see if it's getting spark. The first gen CRVs are notorious for distributor failure, so I would definitely check on your spark there. Okay, so disconnecting the engine temperature sensor, that's going to affect how hot the computer thinks the car is. So now if you're talking about the fan switch, it will not kick the fan on automatically. You'd have to take the disconnect the fan switch, and then jump the fan switch. Hey. Abigail Louise, don't be going to this table. Jeez. But if you disconnect the temperature sensor off the side of the head, it's just going to make the car like hard to start. It's going to mess up with the fuel trims and all that stuff. So I probably would not advise disconnecting. No, that's fine. They knocked over the camera a minute ago. It's fine. It's fine. But as far as the fan switch, yeah, you can disconnect that fan switch and then jump it out and get it back going. You know, test like a paper clip or something, jump across the actual connector, not the fan switch itself. And if it kicks the fans on, then you know it's not a fan issue. Yeah, I mean, they'll have some creaky noises. Even the stock ones have creaky noises, you know. Dawson was talking about he bought his with a kit already on it. Yeah, that's just par for the course. Most of all your cars are going to have some creaks and stuff, especially these older ones. I mean, the newest first gen CRV now is what, 20 years old. So, you know, bushings and stuff. I mean, you could probably take some of those bushings off and put like some silicone paste or something on there, and it would probably help. But so old school repair shop says he's just got a third gen. He's gonna build it like to fit. Sick. So AJ, the tip sending unit, are you referring to the tip sending unit for the ECU, the one on the side of the head, like two wire on the side of the head, or are you referring to the one wire on the side of the head that goes to the temperature gauge? I mean, I guess technically speaking, they have two sending units, one for the ECU and one for the gauge. Let's see. As far as okay, so J Maxey, so aftermarket parts versus OEM parts, man. You know, like I say, OEM parts, I tell everybody, you know, they cost more, but look, the original ones last, you know, 150,000 miles. You put original parts back on it, they're gonna last another 150. Now that's not to say that I don't use or aftermarket parts, because I do use plenty of aftermarket parts, including the Felpro head gaskets. The Gates timing belt, you know, Gates for a long time was the OEM supplier for the Honda belts. I don't really care for the Gates water pumps. I just had one the other day in my cousin's CRV that y'all probably saw that video on. It had a Gates kit on it. I actually put a Gates kit back on it because that's what he wanted. But the original, or the water pump that came with the first Gates kit was seeping. So, and I've seen several of the Gates kits do that, the water pump that comes with it. So that's not my preference on water pumps, but they do work. I would go with like an ASIN kit if it was me, and you know, it's my personal CRV, and I wouldn't do an OEM. I'd just do the ASIN. They come with a real good quality water pump, good quality Mitsubishi belt and stuff. And Mitsubishi is like the OEM supplier for Toyota. I appreciate it, Dirty Built Garage. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, as far as back on the OEM versus aftermarket, I mean, I've had real good luck with the aftermarket stuff too. Just as long as you buy good quality stuff. You know, a lot of the seals and stuff I use are all Mali. They're all made in Japan. So as long as you get aftermarket parts that are made in Japan, you have no issues. It's the China-made parts is what you have issues with. So Maxie says he just got his head back from resurfacing. OEM parts. Hey, I mean, that's your solid bet right there, is using the OEM parts. My wife over here making faces at me. She's always messing with me on my lives. It's a good thing Caden's here. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, she flashed me. But yeah, OEM parts, man, you can't go wrong with OEM parts. They're always really good. And props to you for going ahead and getting the head resurfaced. I see a lot of people that go do a head gasket job and don't resurface the head. And I've mentioned that on a couple of my videos where I do head gaskets, and I always get them resurfaced because it's cheap insurance. Dawson's messages keep getting retracted. Is my lighting better tonight? I tried to do it earlier live this week than I did 2 weeks ago because of the lighting. It got dark earlier, and so it made the lighting not as good. So I tried to do it earlier live. I went 1 hour earlier because of the lighting, and just trying to get it to where you guys can see me, you know. Yeah, I just actually did those valve seals on my cousins. Now, I didn't lap them because I didn't remove the head to do it. So, yeah, valve seals seem to be a pretty common issues with the CRVs. A lot of times they're burning oil. Yeah, it was dark. I agree. This is the first go around with it. And then this week I tried to plan out a little bit better, and also got a couple LED lights over here that are shining on me. I'm sure you can kind of see the shadow in here in the back, because like where my head is. So those LED lights are really helping. So, it's growing pains, and live and learn. That 2 weeks ago was my first one. I took last weekend off completely and didn't do anything car related, and I took off from I was already off from my other job, so I got to work tonight though. So. But just trying to fine polish this machine, you know what I mean? Awesome. It's a good deal. You bought that valve seal removal tool. Yeah, it works great, man. If I've used that thing numerous times, and all I ever use it for is the valve seals. And I think that's all it's technically supposed to be used for, but it seems like I remember somebody at some point saying that it could be used for something else. What do you want now? Are you in there watching me?
No, I love you.
I love you too.
So,
Oh yeah. Oh, now she's got some. She's got these poppers. At least it's not Caden's poppers that he brought over here.
I got some more. Want to go get them?
No.
Yeah.
Caden's got these like adult poppers. Like, you're over here throwing these daggone poppers at me. Caden got these poppers, man. They're like for adult use, and it's suckers are loud. There's like a pistol shooting or something.
Like 5 packs left.
Simmons, I just got the gear set shipped back to me, and it should be here Tuesday, according to the UPS tracking. So hopefully get started on it maybe next week or something. I don't know. I got some other customer cars and stuff here too that I'm trying to finish up, and I just got the title yesterday for the EK. So as soon as I get the Dragon back together and sell it, I'm going to start on the EK, start my other business that I'm looking at. And you gonna throw one at her? Okay, yeah, you should. But yeah, as soon as I get that the gear set in, it's I'll start putting that together. The fourth gear, broke when that dude in blue was driving it, and then second gear, the engagement teeth on it weren't the best, so I replaced second gear. I have a mosquito down here trying to bite my feet. Oh, I got him too. So I wound up having to replace second gear, fourth gear, and then the hub slider for first, second, and third, fourth. So got all those replaced, and then had them super finished. So, and then also I had to replace the transfer gear and the gear on the actual transfer case. So there's quite a few things that I had to replace to get it tip-top shape. I want to make sure it was right before I sell it. And Joseph wants to know if I have any used 88 to 2000 Civic trailing arm. Do you want the trailing arms or the trailing arm bushings? You just need the bushing sleeves. I have some trailing arms down here on this Integra. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some down here somewhere. I've got the ones in the EK also. I'm going to be knocking those out to do all-wheel drive conversion on it. So, yeah, I guess just send me an email, Philip at thehondaresource.com, and we can get you set up with that. Or you can send me an email. I mean, a DM on Instagram to either Boosted 92 EG Hatch or the Honda Resource. I have two Instagram accounts, so either one of those will work. The ECU, it should work on the Integra, or you got a P75 from an Integra with an S300. So it's OBD1, I'm assuming, since it has the S300 in it. So if you have an 01 CRV, all you're going to need to do really is to get a jumper harness from OBD2B over to OBD1. It's an automatic. And the ECU is original. Yeah, so if you're trying to run that ECU on your CRV, you can do it, but you're gonna have to do a bunch of different stuff. They make some kind of little jumper harness that basically you're gonna have to use the original ECU. It's gonna have to run two ECUs. You're gonna have to run the original ECU to control the transmission. You're gonna have to run the OBD1 ECU to operate the engine. They make some kind of harness. You may want to contact Jason Waters. I know that he had one over that he tuned. It was automatic, and it had some kind of setup on it like that with the two ECUs and that conversion harness, whatever. It's complicated. Whoop, whoop, whoop. What's up, Mr. Mouse? I appreciate the donation, man. That's awesome.
You know that's me, right?
No, I didn't. I appreciate it. Look at Caden. Caden gave me $2. It's like you're only the second person to ever give me any money on there. Awesome, Rich. That's awesome, man. You did a whole suspension of my videos. There's so many more videos I can record for the CRVs. It's just a matter of actually taking the time to do it. There's so much that I do down here that I don't record. I just try to get stuff done. I mean, right now there's probably 30 cars sitting down here in my yard, and it gets overwhelming, and like I just get to the point that I gotta try to knock them out and get them done and get them out of here. But sometimes I do kind of slow down and actually have to, make myself that kind of stuff. So it just takes a lot of time to do the videos on them. So, but there's, hopefully at some point soon I can get to where I can do more videos on the CRVs, because that definitely is where my bread, as far as content's concerned. I get so many more views on this first gen CRV videos than I do anything else. Plain and simple. Let's see. So Joseph is doing a rear disc swap. This is energy suspension bushings. I actually didn't know they required the sleeves. All right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, just email me or send me a DM, and if you need some, I'm sure I have some down here that you can get. I'm about to part the old Skeeter Integra out. I've already pulled the swap out of it, and it's actually, I think, sitting on the ground down there with no wheels on it. Okay, I got you, Joseph. Yeah. Awesome. My brother Scout, I like to replace my suspension squeaking and knocking occasionally, but mostly want to learn to do the job. Any recommendations on complete suspension kits? Man, honestly, I like those the quick struts kits. I think KYB maybe makes some. I would go on Rock Auto, man, and just go through Rock Auto's website, and you can buy the loaded shock there. You can buy all the bushings and control arms and all that stuff there, and it's going to have the absolute best pricing you're going to find right there on Rock Auto. But yeah, I really enjoyed my trip going out to PFI, Joseph. It was a good trip. I don't know that it was really worth the return on investment as far as, I went for exposure for the channel, and I don't know that it's worth it as far as that aspect. But we had a great time on the trip, man. It was nice. I want to go back to Colorado. Any of you've never been to Colorado, man, it's outstanding. Rich says he's having the idea of soundproofing his CRV. Man, that would be awesome because they have literally no soundproofing. If you could just go up in the channels with some spray foam or something, that would probably help it tremendously. And maybe put some of that sound deadening stuff on it. It'd be great. It would just add some weight, but it's tick for tack. It's all about the trade-offs. If it's worth it to have a little extra weight to soundproof it, then go for it. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. What was I doing to a first gen? I do all kinds of stuff on the first gens, man. They recently my cousin had his up here for me to do valve seals, and he's like, hey, check it out, see what all it needs. And I actually need like oil pan gasket and water pump, time belt, all kinds of stuff. It did a lot of work. I actually got another one down here too that I was doing some work on the other day. It came in with they broke the crankshaft bolt off in the crankshaft. And so in the process of that, I was able to get the bolt out, put another bolt in it, and then they wanted me to replace the oil pan gasket. When I pulled the oil pan, the oil pan had metal shavings in it. It wound up being the main bearing, so I had to put a set of main bearings in it while I was there. So just a lot of stuff. I got you. Yeah, the Dragon, it actually has energy suspension bushings in it, but they were already in it when I got the car. It's been a while since I've installed any energy bushings, and I think on my Integra when I put those on it, I didn't put the trailing arm bushings. I was still using the stock ones. Make a CRV a drifter. Maybe? I mean, I don't know. Pablo over at SP Tuning, he had that all-wheel drive CRX that he put some axle stubs in, and he drifted it. It was B-Series all-wheel drive. He just basically made it rear-wheel drive by taking out the axles. CRV's a good bit heavier than the CRX. I'm sure you could do it. I mean, yeah, go for it. May destroy your transfer case in the process, but so you're doing a 2-inch lift with skid plate. Awesome. I actually got this I think it's 03 CRV here that I'm doing the K24 turbo in 6-speed. It's getting really close to being done. I just did some work on it the other day. I posted a video on it. I hadn't done anything since then. Yesterday was my wife's birthday, so I didn't work anything. I didn't do anything out here. Jesus Christ. I appreciate that. A $25 donation. It's awesome. Dude, I know we need a Honda meet and greet. There's just literally no Honda people here in Alabama. Well, I mean, I ain't gonna say there's none, but they're few and far between. They're so spread out. Like if any of y'all are familiar with Alabama at all, I'm like probably about 30 minutes or so from Birmingham, and Birmingham is like this way to me, and then Tuscaloosa is this way, and then so I'm about 30 minutes from Tuscaloosa, and there's just a handful of people up in Birmingham, like probably 20, 30, something like that, and then probably